Hello, everybody. Good morning. We are on our 9 a.m. Kirsten inspiration morning. And, I have this wonderful journal here. This is where I keep a lot of my notes. See, this is how cool. This is my dragon embossed journal. And this is my, awakening journal. And I was just perusing it and found these 4 things that one of my dearest friends talked about when she was talking about doing this work, this work of awakening to 100%. And the 4 things were desire for inner change, deep honesty, persistence, and workable principles. And to me, those are so powerful because each one of those has to be present for us to walk this journey. Let's take the first one, desire for inner change. That is such, when you most people go, oh yeah, I want to change. But when it really comes to it, we're comfortable where we're at because oftentimes the known, even though it might be painful, feels safer than stepping into the unknown of what the change might bring. And so to really feel into the difference between, am I willing to take the risk to step into the unknown, to walk the journey of evolution, to wake up 100%, or do I feel more comfortable in where I'm at right now, but even though it might, I'm still in fear, I'm still in my stress, worry, anxiety, but somehow it's known and it's how I've done life up till now, and therefore I'm going to stay here. So really, to embark on this journey of waking up 100%, you need to be able to be willing to have the desire for deep inner change. And then the deep honesty, really, and that ties together with self-awareness, being willing to look at yourself. And yesterday, I think it was, I talked about, when we let our brain go silent, that's when we get to listen internally. And a lot of people are scared of what they're going to find, what they're going to see, because then there's the self-judgment and the shame and the guilt that can come in for, how could I be feeling that way? But when you can step into your future self that is completely unconditional, completely loving, and look back at yourself with that open curiosity and calm centeredness and unconditional, there's no judgment there. There's just the curiosity of what has been pulling my strings up till now and letting it go. For me, just the other day, I had a really deep realization, and that is, I was going into a lack ego. I was definitely in that. And I could feel it. I could see it. I could feel it, but I was definitely in it. And the realization, the deep honesty that came from me was that the lack ego is tied to a victim ego, a really big victim ego, like the victim of, whatever my thoughts were, they don't like what I do, I am not being supported, all those victim thoughts that we go into. And I could see it. That was the first time where I connected those two to that depth. And it was a very powerful moment because, the victim gestalt, the victim energetic collective in humanity is one of the biggest. And we see ourselves as victim to the external, somebody's doing something to me. And when we can step out of that completely, fully, 100% and take responsibility for everything that's happening in my life, you might not know why, but you are fully taking responsibility. That's when you're in complete, utter empowerment and take responsibility. And it is there is a liberation when you can make that step out of, I'm the creator of my life for, 92.3%, but the rest, there is fate. There is something is being done to me. When we can step into 100%, it is an incredibly empowering and powerful step. So I just wanted to share that. The other two, of course, persistence. You gotta, there's commitment to it, and you gotta keep walking it and keep, it's just like no matter what shows up, no matter what obstacles, just keep moving. And then the workable principles is what we're doing every morning, and I'm hopefully starting to demonstrate to you how powerful these principles are, not just by themselves, but as a woven together process, as a woven together tapestry that becomes the most incredible foundation for this journey of evolution. So, are we ready to pick our card for the day? Let's see what shows up. So again, connect to me and connect to this perception of what is it that would support me most today to make my next evolutionary leap, or give me a focus for today, a practice for today that would support me most in my highest good. So here we go. Calm-centered. There we go, calm-centered. This is such a beautiful principle. When I talk about inner royalty, that is one of the key qualities that I feel inner royalty is. Inner royalty to me is, that future self that we are becoming, whose qualities we're bringing in to the present right now, right here. And calm-centered is one of those. It's like calm-centered allows us to move through our lives into the world without being buffeted. And the key thing about calm-centered, so there's one is, of course, ground. You need to be grounded to be calm-centered. If you're untethered, let's call it that, you're just floating and, you're like a leaf in the wind. And that's when we get buffeted around by whatever shows up. Right? Somebody says something to us and off we go into defensiveness or reaction or something. When you're grounded, that gives you one anchor to stay in your center. Obviously, there's a whole lot more to it, but grounding is that one thing that you can do to stay here in your present core. And so you always want to take a high-tech cord, send it 200 miles down deep into the earth and clamp down. Like don't just say, oh, I'm grounded now. No, actually do it, feel it, let that grounding cord go deep into the earth and literally like energetically tug on it and feel you're grounded, and notice the difference between the two. Notice how you feel before you grounded, and then notice how you feel after, and notice the subtleties. A lot of this work is about learning to read the subtleties. So that's one of them. And then the second one is relaxing. And I know everybody's like, oh yeah, I know about relaxing. Well, there is actually 3 levels of relaxing. The first is the muscles, and we always, everybody always talks about muscles. And, yeah, you can go to a massage and get a massage and relax that way. That's fine. But ultimately, there are 2 more levels after the muscles. And the second one is the nervous system. And we do a lot of work with frequencies. And it's the nervous system that lets the frequencies flow through your body. And when the nervous system is tight and constricted, that's when you can, have physical symptoms. And people do have sometimes physical symptoms when they do the frequency meditations that we have. You know, there's the popping in the points on the body, or the muscle, or it's not the muscles, but it feels like you want to stretch the legs because there's some tightness there. It's oftentimes the nervous system when you're doing the frequencies. So letting the nervous system go is really important. And then thirdly, and really most importantly, is the skeleton. You've got to let the skeleton relax. And I know we think the skeleton is this hard, brittle thing or not brittle, but hard, firm thing that is holding up our body, when in fact you want to hold the perception that your skeleton is malleable, your skeleton is flexible, and your skeleton is open. That's how life flows through you, is through the bone marrow. And so you want to open up those bones. You want to let life flow through. And so there's the 3 levels of relaxing that, when you can do all 3, will give you the relaxation to be in calm centered. So when you're grounded and relaxed, that's when you can start stepping into a calm centered way of being. And then you don't get buffeted around by life so much. You don't get thrown off so easily just by a single word but from somebody, or somebody cuts you off in traffic. You are just right here, calm centered. So there's actually frequencies, very specific frequencies, and we have tuning forks that go with these frequencies that can relax those 3 levels. So the frequency to relax your muscles is 128 hertz. The frequency to relax your nervous system is 64 hertz. And the frequency to relax your bones, your skeleton, is 32 hertz. And we have those embedded in meditations. And there is actually a free meditation that we have that takes through these different levels, and it takes you all the way to experiencing the frequency of your future self, the future self that you can choose to become. And so I want to gift that to you. So down below in the comments, I will put the link to that meditation, and I invite you to try it and see if you can feel those frequencies, and if you can feel that future self coming into you, and what we're reaching for as we're waking up. And with that, we are done for today. So today you are going to be practicing relaxing and grounding so that you can come into a calm, centered state of being. With that, I wish you an amazing rest of the day, and I will see you, yes, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Yeah, with that, signing off. Much love to you all. Bye.